So, what is going on, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at the Power Rangers Samurai Megazord. Yes, the final set of Megazords I have to review at my disposal. I'm going to start going into them. I have 3 more, plus the auxiliary Zords. So that's fun. This is the Samurai Zord set, the initial 5. We have the pink turtle, the yellow ape Zord, the red lion, green bear, and blue dragon, which is not in its full state, because if I do that, it does not fit on the camera. It would be like that. Which, for the purposes of this introduction shot of the whole thing in frame, yeah, it doesn't really work that well now, does it? But that's that. That's the introduction. So let's just start getting into these Zords. I'm going to start with the small Zords first, starting with the smallest, which is the pink turtle. And so starting with the pink turtle Zord, this is the only one that can do what the original Japanese one does by turning into its symbol form. The Japanese ones have the ability to turn into their shapes. The turtle turns into a circle, the ape turns into a triangle, the bear turns into a square, the dragon turns into a hexagon, and then the lion turns into a pentagon. So the circle here, circle turtle, just to show it off, because like I said, it's the only one that is able to do what the Japanese one can do. It is a really strange thing. They cut it, and so this would be basically what it could do. So it just turns into this little circle, which is pretty basic and easy. Nothing too brutal about that. It's a very tiny little Zord. It has a nice pink kanji mark up there with the black paint. Other than that, there's some silver around the edge. It looks kind of nice. The head's there, kind of a little blank in my opinion. The rest of it is just this typical silvery gray molded plastic. It doesn't look too special, if I'm being honest. That is the turtle Zord. The yellow ape Zord is a little bit better. It still has that dull silvery gray plastic. I think it could have used some paint in the face other than just this bit of yellow. I think it could use some black or some silver. Something along those lines there. It just looks really bad. The torso, same thing. It's all yellow. I think they could have used some black in there. It looks to be molded in black, so I feel like they could have left like this like belly area unpainted, and I think that would have made it look 10 times better. I don't know if it's accurate or not, obviously, but it is there. Turning it around, more scuffs. Like I've played with this thing a ton as a kid, so there's not really much to say about that other than, yeah, I've played with this, so it's going to be a little beat up in some places, but that's what it looks like. It does have some articulation, though, which is arms, as it should. You know, that's something. They're a bit hollow, though, on the outside. They do have the samurai symbols in there, though. Solid Zord. It's a pretty alright one. Next up is the bear Zord, which is one of the better ones of the bunch. It has an opening and closing mouth, which is neat. It's primarily green and black, has some gold up here on the butt, and it doesn't turn into a square. I feel like it would have been pretty easy to turn it into a square, but it doesn't, and that's kind of a shame. It just looks like that. Red eyes, black paint, a bit of silver on it. Not a ton going on. That's a nice Zord. It's a little bit strange with the giant hump in the back, but that's exactly how it looks, so there's not really much you can do, and again, hollow legs, because why not? Next up is the Dragon Zord, who cannot fit on camera with his little tail going on here, which is definitely not the sword. Anyway, we're just going to subtract that from the equation. And he looks like this. He doesn't have the kanji painted similar to the green Zord, which I forgot to mention. The yellow one does, but he doesn't have it. I feel like they probably should have. Like, it's very much visible on him. On the green Zord, it's not as bad, but on the blue Zord here, it's very, very noticeable that it's not painted. Instead, you have these 2 pegs, which also aren't noticeable on the green Zord, for the most part, just due to where they're placed on the green Zord. It's on the legs, whereas with him, yeah, it's just kind of on the side. He also has the helmet in his guts, so he has this little button here that if you press it, releases the helmet from the mechanism. His mouth opens and closes. It has a nice gold paint. Nothing too bad there. Pretty solid Zord all around. Finally, we have the lion. And it looks pretty solid. I mean, it's probably the best painted of the bunch. It has half of the kanji painted. Yes, this part's painted, but down here, no. No paint, sadly. Still silver, still black. The face is very much well painted with silver. The black mouth is molded, but it's very nice. The gold and then the green eyes. Definitely the best looking Zord of the bunch. And it's just a pretty solid one all around. There's not really much wrong with it, and that's basically the Zords. Let's get into the fun stuff, aka the combination, which isn't that hard with these guys. So first thing I'm going to do is take blue, remove the tail, then remove the helmet. Then we're going to take blue and fold that up, fold that down. Ta-da, we have a left leg, and you can tell because of the pegs. The pegs go on the outside. Next up is green. You're going to take the legs, fold them up, and then do that. Again, the kanji is much more noticeable when it's in leg form, and there's those pegs for the right side. Next up, we have the yellow arm, which is pretty simple. Butterfly knife type thing. There you go. Pink, well, we kind of already seen it a little bit when I was doing a little circle transformation. Open pink up like that. Fold in little flippers. Rotate that around. Flip in the head. And there is the right arm. And finally, we have the red lion, which you just fold up the back legs. Flip back the front. And do that, and now we can assemble. And to assemble it, take your green Zord and put it on backwards. And take the blue Zord, do that. Pan it up and pull it back a bit, because, well, we need to be able to see it, don't we? We then take the arms, and they just peg on here. My right arm peg is a little weird. It like seized up for a little while. I managed to fix it eventually, but for the most part, it was a trying endeavor, to say the least. And finally, the head reveal. We can't not do a head reveal. Come on now. And then you take the helmet, and ta-da! We have the Samurai Megazord minus its sword, which just plugs in the hand like so. Pretty nice and easy. Pretty nice looking Megazord, all things considered, in my opinion. I do like this one a lot. I feel like a lot of people like this one. It's a pretty good Megazord, and it has my favorite thing where all of the colors are represented. Blue, green, yellow, pink, red. Yeah, it's all there. It's all visible. I like the helmet especially. I like that it represents every shape. Which is not even the pentagon, kind of looks a little rounded at the top for some reason. No idea on that one. But the helmet does look nice with the gold. It also has some like textured detailing in there. It's really nice. The sword kind of stores in these little side sheath compartment things, but that's really it. Then you have the sword itself, which is just blank gray. But the cool detailing on it is each Zord is represented. The turtle, the ape, the bear, the dragon, the lion, all there. Very nice, very cool. And you can get varying results with the sword. Just if you put it in the yellow hand, it definitely holds it better. But if you put it in the right hand, you get wrist swivel action. So take it as you will. That's your articulation, by the way. Just the arms going forward and a wrist swivel for the right. That is all you get. So not a ton, but hey, it does not look too bad, I will say. The paint on the legs for the silver looks good. Everything looks nice. It pops with color. At least the robot mode of it all looks good. The Zords are a little skimped on in the paint department, but at least the robot, the Megazord itself, looks great. And as far as it goes, I just realized the crest is completely out of frame. The camera's been slowly dropping. I had no idea. But that is okay. That's okay. It is an intriguing Zord, Megazord in general. I like this thing a lot. There's not really a lot wrong with it. It's one of my personal favorites from when I was a kid. I like that in the Megaforce one a lot. But it's just kind of an intriguing Zord outright. The concept of a samurai is awesome. It's not something new. We've technically seen the Shogun Zord, which is pretty much the Samurai Zord. And I mean, it's there. It's a cool Zord. There's nothing really wrong with it. I like the weird Zord choice as well, like a turtle and an ape, a bear, a dragon, and a lion. If I'm not mistaken, those are all like, those are all Chinese New Year's things, right? But samurais and shoguns are Japan, right? That's what I'm thinking. They're all various different ones. But it's a very cool Megazord, and it's one I'd recommend wholeheartedly, if I'm being honest. It's just a really nice set. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about the Samurai Megazord. This has been my review of it. Thank you guys for watching.